Well, this week, I'm delighted to say I'm going to be talking to Simon Elkinson, who is the head of strength and conditioning here at London Scottish. And, well, here we are in your office, Simon, I guess.
Yes, the pain cave, as we like to call it. It's got everything we need. There's no luxury here, but who needs luxury in a gym?
Exactly, and a lot of sweat. I mean, you can smell in here the sweat that's gone down on this floor, I guess, over the...
Might be you.
It might be me. And, look, for people who don't understand, what is the role of a strength and conditioning coach? What do they do?
Well, my role is to make sure that the players are at their peak condition for games, and to ensure that they recover as quick as possible, because the championship is such a week in, week on competition. There's not much rest at all, and even then, when we do get rest, we seem to have midweek games with the British and Irish Cup. So that's the main thing, and also sort of staying away from injuries, making sure that guys don't get any silly injuries, because they're professional players. We're paying them, and we need to get the best out of them.
You know, you've alluded to the fact there it's a marathon, not a sprint this season. And how can you be in peak condition for the whole season, or do you target certain periods without giving too much away to any rivals? But is it a question of, putting a calendar down for the year?
Yeah, well, what we do is we sat down as a management group. Amor runs a tight ship. It's something that we, obviously with the playoffs this year, it's something that we have to have in the back of our mind. But from the outset, we've gone to peak from the start of the season, which we feel we have done. And it's about maintaining that. Now, there will be a point in the season where hopefully it will become evident whether we're in that top 8 or that bottom 4. We feel we will be in the top 8, and then there's less pressure. In season before, I've worked with teams who are in the bottom 4. Then you have to really come away from it, maybe sacrifice games and build an extra pre-season into it.
You said about the top 8, bottom 4. It very much is that, and everything goes towards the end of the season. It's sort of okay to lose a game along the way, but no one wants to lose games. Looking at the games we've played so far, we've played really well, and we've lost some we should have probably won. Last Sunday, it was played in 100 degrees of heat, it felt like, and we almost clutched defeat from the jaws of victory, didn't we? We scored quickly after half-time. I think we were 29-something up, and then we let in 3 tries. What's that to do with? Is that mental agility as well as physical, do you think?
It's something that we're sort of looking at, and obviously after every game we sort of see and look what worked and what didn't work. I think it's a learning curve for a lot of the players. We have a young squad. We don't lie about that. We know that. It's really exciting to be working with young players. And as they go through the season, they'll be learning to do certain things at certain times and not do certain things at certain times. I believe it was a perfect game for us. We were up, we shut off for 10-15 minutes. If you do that in the championship, you get punished, and we learned that. We got away with it this week, or last week should I say, and we realised that we won't get away with it against Leeds. So I think I would be a betting man that it won't happen again. I don't think it's a fitness issue. I don't think it's anything to do with that.
It's a learning curve, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit about sort of not giving the opposition any breathing space. We were up 21-0 or whatever it was. We might have relaxed slightly, and even a slight relaxation causes a shot in the arm for the opposition. And I think that's what we gave them. They got a try, they got the tails up, and all of a sudden...
So they got impetus, didn't they?
Yeah, it's, watching the World Cup at the minute, it's all about momentum. Whoever has momentum seems to be scoring the tries. So it's we pride ourselves on our defence, and our defence usually stops the momentum of the teams, and it's very important that you do so.
Now today we're here. It's quiet in here because it's a day off for the guys. They do get some time off. But where you've got a short week, we had a game Sunday. Did they get a day off Monday, or how did that? Well, a bit of recovery on Monday.
Yeah, so we will.
A typical week. What would it?
Well, usually, if you look at a Sunday to Saturday, we again, this is something that Simon Amor looked at and sort of for planning issues, and we've done all our planning months ago. So it doesn't take us by surprise if we only have a short week. So on a week like this, the boys were in on Monday, they were in at 10 o'clock, and we did a recovery session, and they'll do some light skills in the afternoon again, looking at trying to get the body ready, and then they'll train as normal Tuesday, train as normal Wednesday, always have a day off on a Thursday pretty much. They will be in this evening for a team run through, and we'll do a primer tomorrow, and then we'll be ready for action against Leeds on Saturday.
Now, one of the things, of course, is the whole squad isn't full-time. We've got, the majority are full-time. We've got some part-time, for want of better words. How does that work? Is that easy for you as a strength and conditioning guy? Because obviously these guys who aren't full-time are working, and so for them to keep their bodies in the same peak condition as the others must be difficult.
Yeah, it's a big challenge. the main thing is trying to keep in touch with these guys that work in the city. The biggest thing, it's not actually the work they're doing, because they're pretty good. I mean, we send them programs out, touch base with them, make sure they're doing the sort of hard yards away from the club. The actual biggest issue is the recovery time, because they don't get a day off. They're in this morning. I can guarantee you Gary Truman was up at 5:15 having his porridge, and he's in at work at his desk at 8. So he doesn't get that rest time like the guys will have a lie-in this morning. So the biggest challenge is actually recovery and trying to get these guys.
So should Gary have his porridge at work then? Do you think maybe get a few extra minutes in bed?
Yeah, maybe I should. I was trying to get him to bring his sleeping bag into work.
Yeah.
But that is the challenge, is recovery really. Yeah. But so far so good. The guys that work away in the city have been doing great things for us. People like Carl Rudsky, he comes in a little bit earlier, and we get him in to do weights in here before training as well. So they work hard for us.
So it puts extra pressure on you, I guess, because you're working all those hours.
Yeah, it's certainly not a 9 to 5 job. It's sort of, the guys have to have their emails in time and sort of programming done. So yeah, it's a very challenging environment, but one that I'm really enjoying.
Now, Simon was saying in the programme notes last Saturday, we're at the stage now, probably 20% of the squad are injured. What's the news on some? What about John, for instance, with is he still in Doncaster? Do we know?
I think he might be. I think he had a few complications with a slight infection,
right,
which seems to happen in the hospital at the minute. I don't actually know. I know with what he's had, it's quite a long-term thing. It's a very careful approach to bringing him back.
Well, I'm sure we'll be updating the website with that information sort of on a regular basis. And what about Lewis? Great to see Lewis come back, get a game last Saturday.
Super.
He's going to be back in the mix soon, do we think?
Yeah, I think
he's chomping at the bit.
Absolutely, he's a very driven guy. He's a great leader. It would be great to have him back. The competition's pretty big all over the squad, particularly in the back row. Willie Lip's back now as well, as we saw on Sunday. I think Lewis will be a great addition back to the squad, but he'll have to fight really hard to get his place back, no doubt about that.
Now, I know you've been to a lot of rugby clubs in your time. I've seen you at very many, and we've crossed swords and words on many occasions. But there is something special about London Scottish, isn't there? That heritage. I know we bang on about this, but when you walk in, you feel that, don't you? There is a history to this club.
Oh, absolutely, I love it. It's Simon bangs on about. I know he hasn't videos previous, but the fact that we've produced so many internationals and so many British Lions in the past, and actually we're now part of something that we're building to try and do the same thing in the future, and that's very exciting to be part of.
And Tony Coxey, I know, and the guys in the office, they're putting in some great programmes and plans and so on of competitions and things which are outside here, and the work in the community as well. It's great stuff. But the one thing I thought on Sunday was it may not have been a massive crowd numerically, but actually vocally it comes across as being a really supportive, and it's something great for the boys. I know you're quite vocal on the touchline, but actually to hear that noise behind you, it's really encouraging, isn't it?
It's huge. I mean, I've come here with clubs before, and although it is a small stand, as you say, the noise that comes from it is pretty cool, and it definitely gives the boys a lift. There's no doubt about it. The fans are very important to our performance. It's the 16th man, as they say.
Now, are you a personal trainer for people? Anybody who wants any training, can you turn them into to get a body like mine? Maybe not that easy, but unless you eat a lot. But is it? Do you still do that sort of work as well?
I'm not miracle work. Yeah, I do. I do keep sort of do a few private clients. It's good fun to do. If the price is right, I'm sure I can help.
So you heard it here. If you need a body like this, speak to him. You need a body like this, just go and eat a bit more. Look, mate, great work that you're doing with the boys in the club. I'm sure you're always approachable on a Saturday afternoon after a game. If anybody wants to find out a bit about the mystery of what this place is all about and all the sweat and blood and tears that comes out in here, then I'm sure you'll be willing to speak to people. But thanks for joining us this week, and we'll hear you on the touchline on Saturday.
Cheers, Kate.